Geek Out!
Hey, welcome to another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
And, I mean, it's just us this week. You get to catch up with the Catching Up boys.
Ooh.
You know, I think we might... we're not done with interviews, but, you know, I think for the remainder of the year, we're probably just going to take it easy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you know, everyone wants to get close to our loved ones, and we're close to our loved ones because we love each other.
Oh! Sure.
Yeah, so you guys getting anything particularly interesting?
I'll start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though Chris usually starts, that's where we're going to change things up here. Samuel and I saw a film Defoe called Manchester by the Sea.
We did, yes.
Let me preface this. I think Casey Affleck gives one of the better performances of the year. You know, I've had time to really marinate on it.
Yeah.
I think the film is
quietly
acted
devastating.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say quietly. It's it's acted well, it's written well, it's performed well, all the above. And when I say this, it is a fucking miserable movie.
It's a heartbreaker.
And that's I'm not saying that as like I wouldn't say it sucks. It's just not for me at all. I have no intention of really revisiting this one ever again. And I think it's and I like some fucking sad movies. I don't know. And I think all of the ramifications of this movie it's my fault. It's fucking my fault.
Me?
Yeah. Remember that scene in Good Will Hunting? He's like, "Not you too."
Yeah.
But
fuck you, man.
yeah, fuck you. But and it's because I had this expectation for something else, and that's not what the movie was. And it's not for me, man.
You know, Chris and I were kind of hanging out before we started recording. We were watching TV, and a TV spot for Manchester by the Sea came up. You know, obviously, like, rave reviews, National Board calls it the best film of the year. Blah, blah, blah. But it makes it look like the feel-good, inspirational
Yeah, that's really weird.
film of the year.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, I remember we saw the trailer before maybe Age of 17 or something.
Sounds about right.
And it's one of those movies, I think, again, like Sam said, that the devastation, because it deals with death, past and present.
If Edge of 17 is like trying to find your way and live your life, Manchester by the Sea is living with death.
Yeah. And both movies have death. I mean, granted, Edge of 17 is not all about it. Where
it's about breaking free of it.
Yeah, breaking free of it. Well, this one is very much like, and I've been thinking about this movie a lot because I was trying to explain it to people where I'm like, it sounds weird to be like, I don't think this movie sucks. I just don't like it at all. And I think, again, it's about a character. He can't break free from it. And, devastating is a better word than miserable. Miserable, I think, is just this feeling you get, throughout it. And for me, like, I don't know, as I've gotten older, like, I don't want to watch movies like this. I don't, because, death's going to happen that's going to be something throughout our lives. And I don't need a movie to tell me that, I want escapism. I don't want realism. Mm-hmm. That's just, that's how I've started, how the more movies I watch. Are there times for the really realistic stuff and like the coming of age stuff's kind of we talked about that a lot this year, but I like it because there's always that glimmer of something, and this movie goes very much into, well, that doesn't always happen, and sometimes you can't shake it.
There's spoilers. If you've listened to the show, you kind of fucking know by now, I would hope, but there's spoilers for Manchester by the Sea. There's a moment near the end of the film where Casey Affleck is talking to his brother's son, whom he's inherited, and he's just like, I can't beat it.
Yeah, that's the scene that I kept coming back to after I saw it, and I kept thinking about that scene. I think that's one of the more real powerful scenes of the movie, and there's a lot. I mean, this is like
the realization that his demons are bigger than him.
Yeah, and the wallop is huge, and there's some stuff in there that you don't see coming, and it's like you said, devastating is a much better word. It's totally devastating. A lot of everyone's just so fucking bereft. Is that a word?
Bereft.
Yeah.
believe.
It's the French pronounced without the T.
If you're bereft, you are overcome with something.
Yeah, that's this movie.
In this case, bereft with
Bereft
guilt.
by the sea.
Yes,
they
all drowned.
I watched some. You don't know what drowns in this movie. You think?
Just that old fuck that's like, one day my dad went out, never
Oh
came back.
yeah, yeah. Never saw him again. That scene's in there for It just adds another death to the movie. But it
Just in case you guys didn't get enough of death.
Yeah, seriously.
Here's another guy that dies.
It does. It does have my wife Michelle Williams in it. That's nice to see her do well.
How do you think she does in this film?
I think she did well. She is so good at just being able to burst into tears. And I don't mean that like on cue, but like have it work for her character, you know. I wish she was in it more, but you know, once I saw where the story was going, I knew at a point she couldn't be in it much longer. You know, there was not even a resolution, but there's a moment between the two. And you think, you know, in Jake Bozek, haha, happy La La Land of movies, you know, there would have been a much more like this moment of, you know, a nicer send off where it's a much more realistic, you know, interaction between them. But like I watched some of the Critics' Choice Awards last night. It's gonna the fight over the Oscars are gonna be between La La Land and Manchester by the Sea. La La Land like cleaned the fuck up. They both won Best Screenplay. They tied La La Land and Manchester by the Sea.
Can that happen?
It did, I guess.
I didn't know that could happen.
Yeah, for the Critics' Choice.
You'd think they'd pick an odd number of critics to avoid this.
Yeah, right.
Or you'd think that they're critics. They would come up with a decision.
Yeah, I mean, I guess those movies are just both that good, you know.
Mm.
You know, like I said, you know, Casey Affleck won Best Actor, and again, you know, I think he's a guy that like he did a Mark Maron episode recently. The most recent one I haven't listened to it yet because I'm still listening to the Dana Carvey one, and he seems like a very quiet guy.
He's the introspective Affleck.
The introspective Affleck.
He's not Ben Affleck on the Bill Simmons on any given
Oh
Wednesday.
my god. He doesn't look like an Affleck either. You know, like there's like little moments where you kind of see it, but he does not look like Ben Affleck's brother.
You know, over the weekend I rewatched Chasing Amy. I forgot he's in it.
Is he? Oh shit, is
Yeah.
he? Okay.
He does. He refuses to let his Jason Lee sign his comic because he's a fucking tracer.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure he's
Wow.
also in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I think he's one of the kids that buys weed from Jay and Bob.
No, they're
Yes.
too young.
Yeah, he would have been
Is he?
older. He would have been older by then.
Oddly enough, speaking of that scene, I do know for a fact that I know one of the kids who is, like the other one, the one that I didn't think was Casey Affleck.
I would hope.
Yeah, not Casey Affleck.
Yeah.
I just found out, just to derail from what we were talking about, but I just found out the guy that I knew. I met him while I was living in New York, doing some acting stuff while I was up there. I didn't know that he had been in movies. I thought he was just doing like local plays and stuff like that. But just like a week or so ago, he posted a picture. He was like, "Oh, hey, here's something that Kevin Smith posted on his official Twitter from the Suicide Squad premiere party," which I guess my friend got invited to the Suicide Squad premiere party.
Yeah, I saw that.
He was like, yeah, this guy's Nick. He was in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and like it had a screen cap of he was the one that like. Gets like manhandled by Jay.
Yeah, because he bad mouths Purple Rain.
Yeah, and specifically
The
time. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean it's.
Would it be in your top 10 as of right now?
It would be low in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very well done.
Yeah,
very well written, very well performed. My favorite scene actually, Casey Affleck does this thing. When he first sees his brother's body early in the film, he's like tries to portray himself as kind of cool, detached, like relatively unfazed by the whole thing. Because there's with his brother's illness, there's a level of inevitability, and it's just who his character is after he suffers this tragedy back in his hometown. When he first sees his brother's body in the morgue, he tries to put his hands in his pockets, like in his jacket pockets, and he can't. He just doesn't know what to do with his hands anymore. For that one split second, he just, you know, if you don't know what to look for, it just looks, you know, like he's just staring at something off screen. But
yeah, this is not a movie of big moments. It's a movie of small moments because my favorite scene is happens a little bit before that, and it deals with him forgetting to grab his shovel. You know, it sounds ridiculous, but that's the type of movie it is. You know, it's small moments. It's
very subtle.
It's not. You don't have the big. You know, the big cinema moment, you know, the big movie moment, like, you know, most movies seem to have. But I don't know, you know, like I said, I'm very much seem to be in the minority in this one. Everyone seems to love it, and that's good. And you know, I'm sure it's going to clean up just
I don't
fine.
know if it's a movie you can love, but it's a movie you can appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly appreciate the film. I don't know if I would say it's not my favorite film of the year.
Hell or High Water was up for a bunch of stuff yesterday.
It was. I saw that. It's up for, Golden Globe for Best Drama.
Yeah, there's I'm excited. There's a couple cool, there's a couple, Sing Street got a little nod here. I mean, it's up for
Deadpool did.
Deadpool, yeah. Nice Guys didn't get,
Yeah, what the fuck, Nice Guys?
But
come on, Hollywood Foreign Press.
yeah, what's going on?
Did they not glad hand you guys enough? Because we know how that's how those nominations work. Yeah. Tom Ford tried to get a bunch, because Tom Ford also is a designer of suits. Like Daniel Craig's wearing like Tom Ford suits in the James Bond films, and he sent all these Tom Ford designer gift bags to the Hollywood Foreign Press. You know how many nominations for Nocturnal Animals, which he also directed? Was it just 3?
Oh, I made it 0. I have no idea.
Oh, it was 0.
Yeah.
I was like, that's why.
I had no idea.
I couldn't see the 0 behind the Superman cape. I just saw 3 fingers up, and I was like, oh, did it actually pay off?
There's never a 0 behind a Superman cape. It's always a hero.
But yeah, didn't get any. What I'm trying to say is the Hollywood Foreign Press rigs the Golden Globes guys.
How was the love of my life in the movie you saw? Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, well, on a lighter note,
the film Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, I saw Office.
Won a Critics' Choice.
I saw Office Christmas Party, and it was hilarious.
$5. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. I loved almost every second of it. Actually,
no, I bet $5 that he would say it's hilarious.
Oh
yeah, you did.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Woo! Oddly enough, it was hilarious. So why wouldn't I? Do I say hilarious a lot?
Basically, every time you watch a comedy, no matter what comedy it is, no matter how good or bad the trailers make it look, be it something as awesome as Keanu or something not as awesome as Let's Be Cops, your go-to response is always, it was hilarious, with the emphasis on the hill. So, $5.
I mean, I agreed with you, so you ain't getting my $5.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
it was pretty funny, guys. Kate McKinnon is great in it. Mm-hmm. I did not want to like her character because she's playing that not because she wasn't a good actress, but no, her character was the foil. She's the HR rep, so she's very stuck. She's got a giant stick up her ass, and just she's there to ruin everyone's fun, but she brings her, Kate McKinnon, just kind of
quirkiness,
to it in such a way that you're just ha, that's funny.
How is my main man, TJ Miller?
He's good. It's good. No, he's very funny. He actually probably has one of the more deep backgrounds in this character than I've seen him play, to my knowledge. But he spends the entire movie trying to live up to the expectations of his father that he's put in his head, and he's like, man, when Dad was running this company, they always had awesome Christmas parties, and everyone loved him because he would get awesome presents for everyone. But now, with HR and my sister's actually the CEO, I can't.
That's Jennifer Aniston?
Yes, I can't be any fun. So, bleh. Which is part of the motivation to throw this ridiculous Christmas party. That, and also they're trying to land a client who basically is you guys are just a company. I need a family. And TJ Miller's aha, this thing has been in the back of my mind for years. Let's throw a balls out Christmas party to show this guy that we're a family.
Who is the? Would you call either of those two the standouts, or is there somebody that kind of stole the show for you? Someone that paid the show that was not that great.
No, I mean everyone is is a solid. Nothing's jumping out at me as bleh, but also it was a pretty solid ensemble. The main guy, his name is escaping me now.
Bateman?
Yes, Jason Bateman. He's straight up the lead. And then you got Olivia Munn. She's great in it. Like I really like they threw her in as like the super tech savvy coder who is basically like the one that's been keeping this company in the market or not whatever in
viable.
Yes, because she's the genius that comes up with all of their script and whatnot. And her and Jason Bateman play really well off of each other. I liked their pairing. It was kind of weird. Kate McKinnon as the HR rep is basically like she's the entire movie. She has kind of a main antagonist in Rob Corddry, who is like the sales rep for this company who's just had it and is like literally like on the edge of exploding and clearly like an HR lawsuit like waiting to happen. And they play really well off of each other. Like I don't know why, but for some reason I was just like, really? That's okay. And like as it was going, I was like, all right, I like what this is doing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess this is the last episode in a pre-Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Is it tale or story?
Story.
World.
Yeah.
If it was animated, it'd be a tale.
Maybe it might have made Clone Wars better.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's like it never existing. Would have made it better. It's one of the worst pieces of shit. I will say,
I still remember your commentary where you're just like, well, guys, I'm not a Star Wars fan anymore.
Oh, man, that might have tipped the scales to Indy, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it did. I mean, Indiana
with
Jones shows,
Obi-Wan. And I remember the moment. It was
God.
Obi-Wan doing the stirring
the tea.
Yeah.
It was one of those like honest to God moments where like I was able to step out of the fandom of Star Wars that I've been in since I was like 7 and been like, is this dumb? It's not. But I watched this scene from Rebels where Vader fights I'm terrible with like the out of like original trilogy people. But I guess one
Chuck
of
T.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like it was Anakin's like it was like Anakin's like
apprentice.
Yeah, apprentice, and then like he fucking kills Darth Vader. Spoilers, I guess. Jesus, that's probably a huge one for Rebels fans out there.
I've never actually seen an episode.
And anyway,
of Rebels.
but
So good.
they show like their fight together, and she's like,
Hilarious.
yeah, she's like, I know.
Laugh a minute.
She's like, it's Anakin, like all that kind of stuff, and like he's like, Anakin's dead, you fucking dummy, and then they fucking throw down. There's battle damage Vader, which is pretty cool. It's not cool for him because he's like, fucking just wreck. And people always go like, how come he doesn't use Force lightning? He has no limbs. Like and lightning, Vader having like using like the Force lightning would be the worst idea in the world
Because of the electronics involved.
Yeah. Why would the fuck would he do that?
Well, I mean, you control the lightning with the Force.
But wouldn't you need like a fucking
I don't know.
hand?
I don't know the science of it.
No, it's just a specific trick.
I guess
You have to learn it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever learns it. I'm not up to, but I mean Mace Windu does it.
He can still
Not to say that like Mace Windu doesn't have hands, but
he can still like pull things even though he doesn't have
That's
hands.
true. That's true. I just figured he'd have
he
to
actually
have, like,
uses the Force to move his hands and feet.
He's fucked
We
up.
read that book.
Yeah, he's fucked up. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But,
That's what the subtitle of this one's going to be. It just writes
With
itself.
capital HIL.
Manchester by the Sea. Hilarious.
Oh yeah,
That'll let's see that on the TV spots.
That's a laugh a minute.
That was I can understand the escapist element of film, but I think, and you don't necessarily have to watch it, it's not, but without that, things like 12 Years a Slave or Schindler's List or, Amistad, the films that are willing to comment on the sad side of the human condition.
But those are also all real stories, like based on real things.
Yes.
Like Manchester by the Sea, it's like they just created this fucking miserable shit. I lied. It's fucking terrible. I hated it so goddamn much. It's a piece of shit. No, I appreciated its artistry. It was very well made, crafty film.
You know who came up with the story?
Who?
Matt Damon and John Krasinski.
Holy they're from Boston.
All they know is pain.
Yeah. Massachusetts. Krasinski was supposed to be Casey Affleck's role, and honestly, I can't see him doing it.
No. No, Casey Affleck was perfectly cast for. I mean, he's from Boston, and he's a very dour.
I want to see Casey Affleck in more.
He's great.
In more. I want to see him in more. Yes, basically, I want to see him in legitimately hilarious things.
He's having the time of his life in Good Will Hunting. He's like one of the comedic relief elements.
He's one of the brothers in the Ocean's 11 trilogy.
That's the one that usually pops to my mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's before he was doing things like Gone Baby Gone.
Oh, yeah.
Or The Killer Inside Me.
My God, that movie's so fucking dark.
Was he also in Smoking Aces, or was that just Ben?
I think that was just Ben, along with Chris Pine and Ryan Reynolds, Ray Liotta, Jeremy Piven. Fuck.
Star-studded cast.
Yeah. Alicia Keys. She was in that one.
That's right.
Smoking Aces for me is one of those movies that just tries too hard to be cool.
I've never seen it.
I enjoyed it, but
was it?
No, it was not. It was kick-ass.
Emphasis on the ass.
Yeah. For me, it was one of those.
I was looking at my wavelengths when I said that.
I added a new feature recently that I know you've picked up on, but there's a red mark every time you clip, and so it's like when Jake was going, it sucks, it fucking sucks. It was just red.
I said it was shit.
That's sorry, it's shit. Yeah. But I don't know. Smoking Ace is along the same lines as like Shoot 'Em Up for me, where it's just like, let's just go balls out crazy.
For some reason, I fucking love Shoot 'Em Up.
Well, I think you are right in that Smoking Aces is like, hey man, we're a badass, like we're a cool movie. Yeah. Like let's go, And also I think
let's go with the fucking
finger guns.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, but I think you might have also run into a lot of ego in Smoking Aces, whereas I think even though you in Shoot 'Em Up you have Paul Giamatti and what the hell is his name?
Clive
Owen, who are pretty big names at the time. I think both of them. But especially Paul Giamatti, like he gets so into his roles that like he doesn't have like an ego about it.
Sorry, just because you said his name. You know what would have made Manchester by the Sea truly the most miserable piece of shit?
If Paul
Giamatti just showed up on screen, just that mopey fuck, and he was just like, guess what, kids? Like the movie stops for a second, he breaks the fourth wall, he's like, hi, I'm Paul Giamatti. One day everyone you love is gonna die. You're gonna die. And people may not get over it. That's life. Life is hard, and it sucks.
He should have been the dude in the blue jacket.
Yeah. The movie has some of the weirdest edited shit. I think that's one of its strengths, in my opinion. I like some of the editing, but that scene in particular that you're talking about that I can't really convey over the microphone is fucking weird. It's
You'll
a really weird. Yeah, it's a really weird cut.
If we haven't sold it, for
I wasn't planning on watching it before, and you guys have made me glad that I made that decision. Because I could, much like what Jake said, like I use movies as escapism. The sillier the better for me.
Sure,
as I'm sure I've made abundantly clear.
I mean, Shoot 'Em Up. I mean, that's what I like. Shoot 'Em Up over Smoking Aces, because Shoot 'Em Up goes for fucking broke. There's a sex scene / gunfight.
And there's and Clive Owen kills a man with a carrot.
Yes.
It's and it's kind of like Crank, but
I was
going to
say I love the Crank movies.
Yeah, no, Crank is Shoot 'Em Up with like Coke added to it.
Yeah, Smoking Aces still has that element where like, hey, we're still like a hip crime film like Snatch, and it's get the fuck out of here.
Smoking Aces is like wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah, it's that asshole that comes into the bar.
Craft beer.
Yeah. Comes in with like this long leather duster, like I'm pretty fucking cool, right? And he's the guy that
handlebar mustache
that unironically wears the fedora. That's Smoking Aces to me.
I love it.
Do you want a fedora for Christmas?
I do not. Unless it's like a real fedora, like Indiana Jones, not like a Tripoli, which everyone calls a fedora.
Yes, the Dr. Dolittle hat.
Yeah.
Which they reference in Ocean's 13, where like Al Pacino's assistant's like, he's the one wearing the trilby, and he's like, what? And she's like, Dr. Doolittle hat. And he's like, why didn't you just say that? What were we? Oh, do we want to provide any context on the motherfucker?
Just every Paul Giamatti movie, somewhere he yells the motherfucker like really loud and very intense.
Yeah.
Except Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is a little bit bummer.
Yeah. Which is
a little bit bummer? Not even fucking English. A little bit bummer.
Jake and I had developed a Paul Giamatti vehicle called
the motherfucker.
All caps, like 12 exclamation points.
Yeah. If anything, it would just be it would be like mother and then fucker.
Yeah.
So like the fuck and then the ER would be back down to
just like fortes.
And the idea is that it would like the trailer would just basically be a sizzle reel of Paul Giamatti in different contexts screaming motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like maybe like his like coffee gets everywhere or maybe like
Does he do it in San Andreas? That's him in San Andreas, right?
No, he just had.
Am I
Here's another thing he does.
In San Andreas,
he does the oh my god, and he does like that look on his face. But like the motherfucker would start off with him, and he's like sleeping, and the alarm goes off, and he looks, and he realizes he's late. He goes, motherfucker, and then he's like brushing his teeth, and he hears like his car has a flat tire, so he has to call an Uber, and the Uber's honking his horn. He's brushing his teeth, and he goes, oh my god, and like that. Watch the trailer for San Andreas because he's always in a rush. He's always in a fucking rush to get somewhere. He's just like
he's always like 2 minutes late.
Yeah, he's always
never
like,
happy.
Yeah, he's
always just stubbed his toe.
He's like, hey, I told you motherfuckers that there's gonna be an earthquake and you didn't listen, and now it's too late. And like his facial acting is top notch, man. Because like in San Andreas, he's looking at the camera and like 25 crew members eating nachos and being fuckers behind the camera, whatever. Yeah. And he's just looking at
the director's too busy like texting like his like wife.
Yeah,
just like
basically like what I was doing while we originally tried to film videos for us.
Yeah. But more nachos.
Yeah,
more nachos and
but being a motherfucker.
Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, and then Paul Giamatti is just
miserable.
He's miserable.
Just miserable Amati.
Yeah.
So Rogue One's coming out.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Very exciting, man.
It needs Paul Giamatti.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't.
Rebels break in.
Yeah. Voices Darth Vader. I'm trying. I don't read any reviews. I've just seen. Like Kevin Smith posted a little thing. Of course, no spoilers, but just he really loved it, and Ralph Garman from his Hollywood Babylon co-host guy and creator really loved it too, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see this new chapter, which is in between two chapters we've already seen. But and again, the chance to see Darth Vader on the big screen again is in prime time, but primer time than Episode 4. Hopefully that'll spark interest to make that Hunting the Jedi trilogy, which would be amazing. And mostly just to see him, but we all love Felicity Jones and the trailers have been really focused on the aspect of hope, which is always something I love to see in a movie.
In contrast to Manchester by the Sea.
Manchester by the Sea or Eddie B. Zack Snyder's Superman film.
Or Suicide Squad.
Oh my god, Suicide Squad, dude. Holy shit.
I own two versions of now.
It's all right. On Tuesday when it comes out on physical media, I'm planning on buying it.
Both versions?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because they come packaged together.
Yeah, they'll come packaged.
Yeah, that's how I got it.
Yeah.
Did you watch the extended cut yet?
No.
Nah.
It's a fucking beatdown.
I could get it through my cable provider because it's on demand already.
Oh, that's how. Yeah,
but I don't want to.
Have you bought anything on Vudu recently?
Yeah. Let's see.
That was you doing your line of coke off of your copy of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Right next to the microphone.
And the motherfucker. Yeah, I give you guys sound effects like radio plays, listeners. Oh. But let's see. I got the Social Network. I feel like I got something after the Social Network that was also a fine film, but I can't remember.
Oh, really quick. This is really quick. I watched The Lobster, and it's a piece of shit.
With Colin Farrell.
Total piece of shit.
Yeah. Better or worse than Manchester by the Sea?
Way worse. way worse. Because I
hear it's a very uncomfortable film.
It is extremely uncomfortable, and there was a beginning I was tracking.
So hilarious.
Yeah, I was tracking the
hilarious.
Oh man, that's so fun. I was tracking with the movie. I was tracking with the movie, and then and I knew like what the premise was. Which was one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it, but it just goes to a place, and it's fucking bad. It's not a good film. But of course, it's getting rave reviews and everyone's loving it. So.
Because it's original.
Yeah, because they put the fucking little like leaves around it when it said "good film." It could just say "fuck you" in the middle of it with the little like leaves and
the
say
Sundance
Venice underneath it, and people would be like, "That's a fucking good movie." How many people waste their lives lying about those movies, man? How many fucking people waste their lives going, "I see the artistry in The Lobster," and if you do, good for you. But if you don't, and you're lying to yourself. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck you and your Limp Bizkit CD collection.
All two of them.
I am listening to Anna Kendrick's book Scrappy Little Nobody.
Oh.
Which
I forgot that she's the
my
accountant.
bae.
I love the accountant.
Yeah.
Did you see the accountant?
I
with her?
did not.
She's not in it very much, but she's good.
I was mildly interested in seeing the accountant.
It's actually pretty solid.
And then I heard that like she's barely in it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I do want to see it, but like I just suddenly like dropped down.
I'm gonna buy it when it comes out,
yeah.
so I'll let you borrow it. But
cool. I was about to say I'll definitely check it out once it comes out.
And the rumor is that the director is going to be directing the Green Hornet reboot.
Ooh.
Which I will say real quick, rest in peace, Van Williams, who died recently, about a week or so ago. Star of the Green Hornet in the TV series, and really helped be one of the pieces that helped spur my love of pulp characters, So,
but yeah, it's fun. Anna Kendrick's book, not him dying.
Yeah.
But like basically, she describes it, and I agree. If you follow her Twitter, it's basically like the same kind of like stream of consciousness, just being ridiculous. But she's no longer restricted to just 140 characters.
That's good.
And it like basically goes through her early life up until around the time that the book was written, which was right around when she was filming Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But it's very funny, and she like anyone that's like fallen in love with her quirkiness is going to fall in love with her even more, because she's like, it's not an act. This is how fucking weird and awkward I am in real life. And I mean, she's perfect.
Good.
And it's funny hearing her talk about like filming the Twilight movies, because that was when
Oh yeah, she's in the Twilight movies.
Yeah, right. That's the reaction that she says that she gets a lot. What's funny with me, when those movies came out, I was dating a girl who wanted to see them, so I was like, all right, fine, we'll catch. I think we saw the first two, and she was the only person that stood out to me. Like of course you're gonna know your Kristen Stewart and your the guy.
Edward and Jacob.
Yeah, whatever their real names are.
Team
Robert
Miller.
Patrick. No.
Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson.
And Robert Pattinson.
And Taylor.
Running away.
And Taylor Lautner.
That movie has the worst fucking werewolf shit of all time.
It does.
By the way.
Yeah. It's awful. It also has the worst vampire shit of all time.
Yeah, I don't care about
but fucking vampires. Yeah. If they're not True Blood vampires, then fuck 'em.
True Blood and Lestat.
Yeah.
Everything else, get the fuck out.
But so when I'm watching it with her, both she and I, my girlfriend at the time, agreed, like, wow, this girl, playing whatever character her name was, like we were like, this girl, she's adorable, she's funny, like we care more about her than anyone else in this movie, and she's only in it for like a collective
she's like
15
high school
minutes.
Friend who's like kind of there.
Like she's in all of the movies, but like her role gets smaller and smaller in each movie. Like the first movie she's in like maybe a collective like 20 minutes, and like the second movie I'm like if I remember correctly she's only in like a handful of scenes. And then like I saw the third movie, and she's practically not in that one at all.
Yeah.
And I never saw Breaking Dawn Part 1 or 2.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
And I saw
Like,
all of
and-
them in the theater except those two.
Yeah, and like I would, and
Because of my sister.
Anna Kendrick's the only reason why I would, want to watch those anyway, because I'm like, oh my god, I love Anna Kendrick so much. So hearing her talk about how like people are constantly forgetting that she's in the Twilight movies, I'm like, that's like the only reason why I know who you are, and you're the only one that I cared about,
Yeah.
So like, but it's funny, and then she keeps talking about how fun filming Up in the Air was, and I'm like, I fucking need to watch that movie.
Holy shit, dude. Yeah, that's...
And like
That's
she had
the
no
best.
idea that it was going to be such a big hit. Like she was just like having fun and being starstruck by George Clooney.
Yeah, George Clooney would like make fun of her for going to have to run. She was like making the Twilight movies while doing that, like running back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Up in the Air is so good. That was my favorite movie of the year when that came out. That's a really good movie.
And she was like, man, making Up in the Air was just like making one of those like small indie films. Like it was just like a relaxed, save for the fact that George Clooney's there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was such a relaxed thing. And then she's like, then I started doing press for it, and oh my god. It was like 6 months of just straight like interviews every single day, and
She got nominated for an Oscar for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't remember if she won. I think she
didn't.
Yeah, no, just now nominated. But like she talks about how like she had a conversation with her brother right around the time that those Oscars were, and she was like starting to get really overwhelmed, or maybe it was with her mom. One of those two. But she was like, I'm starting to get really overwhelmed, and like, am I the kind of person that actually cares whether or not I win an Oscar? Because 6 months ago, I didn't care that I had never been nominated, but now that I've been nominated, like, do I actually care? I'll let you know next week when I get to the next chapter where she talks about whether she cares or not.
Oh my god!
I know everyone's on the edge of their seats.
I am.
Yeah,
that's neat.
it's on Audible. She narrates it herself.
I love when they do that.
Yeah, right?
Speaking of Audible,
that was actually half the selling point.
Yeah, I mean, no, that does help a lot. I'm listening to Lauren Graham's book right now, where she reads, and she's delightful. About just basically her life,
13
and then
going on 30.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie.
And
It's hilarious.
then I also picked up
It's
Born to Run, the Springsteen autobiography, which he reads, which is great.
Nice.
And I'm really looking forward to read. And then also George Lucas's biography, not written by him, not read by him. That'd be so fucking great if you read that book.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Hello, I'm George Lucas.
Oh, crush your butt like a bug.
In between chat, he'll be, in between after.
Who was
that
that you were listening to that would like chuckle?
Oh, my favorite person, my inspiration for everything, Rich Evans from Red Letter Media. He does a YouTube video. George Lucas does a salad unboxing. All of a sudden, my favorite salad. I like to have a little ranch in my pocket here. It's fucking hilarious. But anyway, I picked that up. It's like George Lucas of life, and the front cover is that great image of him talking to the C-3PO, like with Tatooine in the background. I think it might be Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru just burning in the background. He's like, nice. I'm a fucking billionaire from this. I'm gonna
burn them all.
I'm gonna sell it. Yeah. I'm gonna sell it and get rid of any blame.
Did anybody see the Fate of the Furious trailer?
No.
I started to. I swear, this is actually really funny. This is 100% the God's honest truth. I was watching the trailer, and it got to a point when did you? I'm assuming you guys have.
No.
Okay. Well, it's funny you should bring it up.
My friend Gabe said that it was the worst trailer of the year.
I'm not going to see this piece of shit, but
worse than Triple X Return of Xander Cage.
No, but
his words, I am not ready to defend them.
there's a moment where Vin Diesel betrays the family, and now he's on the run. And I was like, I stopped. This is a trailer. This is a fucking trailer that's like 2.5 minutes. I stopped and I was like, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm surprised I did in the first place, but I don't give a shit anymore. And I don't give a shit anymore. And I turned it off. So,
Did you at least see Scott Eastwood?
No.
Okay.
I thought he died already in this universe, but I'm getting confused with other movies.
Yeah, basically any David Ayers film.
See, I'm nope, don't care. Sorry, not going to see this. I'm done with the Fast and Furious.
I feel like I say that about every Fast and the Furious.
I am excited for it. Granted, I haven't seen the trailer, but like I have, a deep love for the Fast and the Furious movies, especially the latter half of the series so far.
Oh yeah.
So I'm right now, in my ignorant state of not having seen this apparently god awful trailer,
It wasn't
I'm
that it
still
got awful. It just got to the point. I was like, I don't give a shit about this. Now he's the betrayer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's your review plus my friend Gabe's review. I'm
passionate because I cared once.
But I'm still invested, and I wanna see the trailer. I have this weird thing about I don't like to watch trailers the first time on my phone, on my laptop. I prefer to watch them on like a full size TV or preferably in a movie theater. Just because I don't know, I don't like small screens. Which thankfully worked out for me this time because I saw the new Guardians trailer in front of Office Christmas Party, and that was a fun looking trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fox the Run, great jam by Sweet.
Yeah. Haven't seen the Spider-Man trailer yet.
Oh.
Homecoming.
That's right, that came out.
Yeah. I caught the first 5 seconds of it because it was in front of a YouTube video that I was watching on my phone, and I was like, no, thank you.
I hope we see it before Star Wars. I'm sure we will.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're all Disney. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you get the Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And like, it makes Vulture look badass because Vulture is just a skin-tight old geezer man.
So is that where he's flying off to at the end of Birdman?
Yes, he's now.
He's like, yes, Father, I will become a vulture.
Become a vulture. But there's the international trailer which has a couple more scenes with him or a couple more seconds.
Yeah.
But
what'd you get in the domestic trailer? Still just like I'm going.
Oh, he's like, I'm gonna kill everyone you fucking care about.
I'm gonna find her.
I'm fucking
gonna kill her.
turning into goddamn.
You're doing your Macho Man.
The Macho Man mixed with Birdman, which is kind of what it is.
I'm not talking.
Yeah.
No more questions.
Yeah, no more questions.
No more questions, Peter Parks. Give it to us, Slim Jim.
Yeah, I wish Bonesaw was like a canon villain, like in the comics.
Bonesaw's ready.
Oh man, he's so good.
Yeah.
That's why that's the greatest superhero film ever made, the first Spider-Man.
Not 2?
No, 2 is.
Not Nickelback doing the sound on the soundtrack.
Hero to save us.
I'm not gonna wait. Nickelback and Saliva.
Just
Right?
Josie Scott from Saliva, yeah.
What a terrible name for a band.
Yeah.
Nickelback or Saliva?
Saliva.
Click, click, boom.
And
All
then
their songs.
is Dashboard Confessional in Spider-Man 2?
I
Vindicated.
know.
Joel McHale is in Spider-Man 2.
He is.
He
He's
is.
a banker, yeah. There was a week, I think it was
Spit it out.
the week after Thanksgiving. Because I still have
This is
one.
recent? Like this Thanksgiving?
As in like last week,
All right.
basically. Where I like listened to the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack pretty heavy. Like
Isn't
almost
that-
on the way to work like every day.
Isn't that like a collection of just the worst shit of that year? Like it's like a now mix, but it's Spider-Man.
Now that's what I call shit.
Yeah, isn't that the Spider-Man 2 soundtrack?
It's Dashboard Confessional,
Shh. Okay.
Yellow Card,
Okay.
the Ataris,
I don't know who that is.
Taking Back Sunday.
What Taking Back Sunday song?
This
Make Damn Sure.
No,
What song is it?
this photograph is proof.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
So we're going to the shit pile. My ignorance equals shit.
Lost Prophets.
Don't know who that is.
Okay. Train.
Oh yeah, is it? I mean, I don't know that. Okay.
Those are.
I don't know if I should be proud, but I know all these bands so far.
Midtone. A lot
Okay,
of
now I'm lost.
a lot of like
I mean, they're all basically the same genre.
early 2000s, mid 2000s, like pop punk, post emo stuff.
Work-friendly music.
Yeah, basically stuff that like the Raimi-verse Spider-Man would probably listen to.
Is that why he's crying all the time in such a bad mood?
Probably.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I've been listening to Hardwired to Self-Destruct a lot.
Oh
recently.
yeah, yes, bitch.
That was one of my last. That was one of my last quote unquote purchases on Amazon Music, because I have Amazon Prime, and up until like last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, Amazon Music was part of Amazon Prime. So certain albums you could just download without paying separately for them because you're paying for Amazon Prime.
Okay.
But now they've split, and Amazon Music is its own separate monthly thing that I don't feel like paying extra for because I pay for Amazon Prime.
Don't like that. Yeah, Hardwired to Self-Destruct's pretty damn
It's such
good.
a fucking solid album.
Yeah, really good.
Thank you for recommending it, because I probably wouldn't have given it a chance except for the fact that you were like,
It's pretty good, man.
that was an
Pretty
exact. That's
That's my review.
yeah.
Just the
You
grunts.
can check back a couple weeks ago when he did review it on the show, and it was just that.
Yeah.
No words.
It was a 1 hour.
It was hilarious.
That has to be the episode title now.
Yeah.
It just has to. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I got it. You guys will see it in the copy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you're listening, you know by now.
Yeah. This is how we come up with stuff. You're part of the creative process.
This is how we do it,
Yeah.
like Howie Mandel.
Yeah. It's
He had that hidden camera show. This is how we do it.
yes.
Yeah.
He also had Bobby's World. Yeah. With a spider thing that was part doll, part alive.
part doll, part alive.
All cop.
Oh, cop! I'm excited for Rogue One, man.
Me too, man. Me too. I'm ready. That La La Land. Those are really.
Yes.
You know, I finally saw a trailer for La La Land, and this whole time, everyone apparently except me knows everything about La La Land, and I was just sitting in ignorance, going, "What the? I've only ever heard the title, and apparently everyone else knows that it's like the greatest movie ever made." And I finally see the trailer, and I was like, "That looks adorable. I want to see it a lot."
Mm-hmm.
And that's my pre-review of La La
It
Land.
looks just like saturated in Technicolor
Mm-hmm.
with dancing. And
But done the right way, unlike South Pacific.
They don't
Which was
make
awful.
movies like this anymore.
they make them like Manchester by the Sea.
You want to feel like shit? I got the movie for you.
Have you seen the latest trailer for The Founder?
No.
No, I haven't seen any trailers for that.
I saw that one that was like 5 years ago that they had for it. You got a chicken nugget? I got your chicken nugget. That's what I remember.
I feel like we were both on the same wavelength. We, because we were like, oh, Michael Keaton in a movie where
Coming
he's
off Birdman and
he's probably gonna get like
or
at least
Spotlight.
an Academy Award for
Yeah.
this or something, or at least the nomination. Then we saw the trailer and we were like, not great.
Yeah. I am McDonald's. I remember you were like, "What the fuck is that accent?" I'm gonna be McDonald's. I don't remember what the accent's like. I just remember it being this thing where it's just like, if I remember the trailer, it's just like tick 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 tick, and he's just like walking over. He's like, "I met some brothers and they like chicken nuggets," and then it's like tick 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 tick, and then he's like in court and he's like, "It's my McDonald's." Tick 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 tick. And then he's just sitting at home with his wife, and she's like, "You made a lot of kids happy with Happy Meals." And he's like, "It's my McDonald's." And it just ends with the arches. Tick, 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 tick. He's like,
tick, tick,
I'm
tock, tick,
I'm the founder. I am the founder.
Yeah, I'm still gonna see it.
Is the new trailer better?
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of one of those ones that are attached to like all like the critic reviews because it's already like been shown at festivals.
It has been? Because, yeah, I saw somewhere that someone was like, fucking, Oscar Gold. He wants that fucking Oscar, man. He could, he got close with Birdman. He fucking wants that shit.
He's just like, fuck it.
He's like, I'm going to find everybody you love. And it cuts to like, Mary Jane or whatever with the two. I'm going to fucking kill everybody.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Christ pose. Yo! They did the fucking webbing under the arms, man. I never thought I'd see it.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
And they made it practical.
Yeah, practical. It's not literally just like holy webs.
Holy web.
Yeah, he's like, look at this. He's like flabbing it. Look at this fucking. What is this
It
here
catches
for?
my sweat.
Look at this fucking here
Sweat.
for you. You piece of shit.
Where did that come from? Was that Todd McFarlane that
That's
came
Steve
up with
Ditko.
it? Steve Ditko?
Like
That's
issue
original.
1 or
Yeah.
Amazing Fantasy 15.
It was just a, hey, look, he's got web in his armpits.
When I sent my own Aunt May, aka my grandma, when I was a little kid, a picture. I wanted her. She would sew stuff, and I was like, "Make me a Spider-Man
Yes.
outfit." And I sent her. I cut out panels of a comic book, and I sent her like reference of it. And I sent her. I don't remember what comic it was, but he had the webbing under his arm. So the Spider-Man costume I have had webbing under the arms. It was the coolest, and had little Dicko eyes and stuff.
Mm.
So That's always something.
Are you a bigger fan of Ditko eyes than like the Todd McFarlane like half the mask eyes?
Yeah, I mean the half eyes looks really fucking cool, and McFarlane's Spider-Man always looks really really cool. But I liked, my favorite Spider-Man is John Romita Sr. Spider-Man. I mean that's for me. I mean that's it. But I've always liked the thick black. What they're doing now. The small thick black eyes. The really circular spider on the back. I like the little thing on the chest
with splashes of black as well.
With the splashes. Because originally it was black.
Yeah.
The blue was just shade. And I feel like they did that. I don't know if it's McFarlane, but I feel like there was some stuff in the 90s, some comics they used to have that got thrown away. Mom. Just kidding. Not just kidding. You threw them away, but I forgive you.
Calling you out.
But
I know Superior had the
black. The black looks pretty cool. But no, I was saying in the trailer when he hits the spider and it's like not skin tight anymore. I was like, that's a cool little thing. That's a cool little thing.
Yeah. It's very pragmatic. And I do like how it's kind of like a teen comedy where the lead just
God,
happens to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was something that I can't remember the lyrics, but I like that song. I didn't know I liked that song until I heard it. But yeah, it feels like I remember they were like John Hughes, but it happens to be Spider-Man. I was like, I get what that means.
Yeah.
And if they hit that, if they fucking nail that,
You're gonna hit that.
if they achieve their goal of making that happen, then that's gonna be exciting. Because we've never really seen that. Like Perks of Being a Wallflower. Which is funny because like the first time I ever heard wallflower was in a Spider-Man comic, the term wallflower. But hey Peter Parker, you fucking wallflower. It's a weird audio drama like cassette I have where it's like the retelling of Spider-Man's origin and it's like really echoey and shit. But yeah, I dig. I'm hoping that it does that. Liz Allen,
Yeah. Instead of Mary Jane, it's Liz Allen.
They show Liz Allen, and you're like.
They know
That's
this-
old school.
You're like, who?
That's
They know.
old fucking school.
Yeah. Fucking the Vulture.
He looks cool. He's got the jacket with the little, the fluffy,
Yeah.
it's not
Does he
bad.
have the impressive wingspan?
He's got a wingspan.
Well, yeah, jury's out on the impression.
Yeah. I guess the shocker.
Just
And the Mad Thinker.
Don't be a stinker.
I just want that Hobgoblin.
It's coming.
Yeah. You might get your Mysterio yet.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on. Quentin Beck, man. The worst best.
Fishbowl head.
Oh, fishbowl head. And always gets punched in his mouth and it breaks. And he's like, I have a bad Elton John haircut.
Yeah.
All this broken glass is getting in my face.
If you lined up like all of like Spider-Man's original Rogues Gallery, they all look exactly the same. Just these schlups with like bad haircuts.
And these weird mesh outfits too. Like Mysterio's got like green mesh.
Mhm.
I feel like
with the eyes as the whole,
fucking Shocker's got the yellow mesh.
yeah, quilty.
Yeah. He looks like, and he's got like the weird, like.
I know you don't like. I was reading a thing today about like the Spider-Man's like top 15 villains or whatever, and Chameleon was on there. I think for one, and he wasn't very high on the list. I know you'll be excited because I know you're not a fan of him. But like
every Chameleon story is the same.
I know, and like it's funny because he's the first villain he ever goes against. I think that's the main reason he was on the list. That because he's step bros with Craven, your boy Craven, and I want to love the Chameleon because I feel like there's somewhere in there like there's that story that someone touches on that everyone's because it's like Bane. Everyone's like, oh, it's the same story, but then someone down the line will be like, no, there's this, and it'll blow it wide open.
Oh,
Unfortunately, like
I just cracked the Chameleon.
what?
You would just
Get
write.
Stan Lee on the phone.
Yeah, Dan Slott. You would just write. What if the Chameleon just went through multiple personality disorder and thought he was every single person he's ever impersonated?
Yeah,
Kind of like that James McAvoy film, but good.
oh God, Split.
Yeah.
He done awful thing to you, the awful thing to everybody.
I have socks.
Yeah. You didn't think I just gonna let you out of here.
Has that come out yet?
I hope so, because I don't want to see that trailer
January.
anymore. I don't want to see that
No.
fucking trailer anymore.
It's an M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Yes, my name's Hedwig. I
Yeah.
have socks.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, but
I'm
like,
an owl.
I think one of the things I like about Chameleon is like his look, which is the white head. Like that white head. He's just like, hey.
But think how crazy it would be if he surrendered to the personalities he assumed.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And then, of course, at the end of that story arc, I would just fucking kill him.
It's his swan song.
Yeah. Like, you try to, when you're writing a character to a supervillain to a character, what does that villain say about the character you're writing against? You would argue that Spider-Man's caught between Peter Parker and Spider-Man. That's what you would play up, and you would get somebody that just can't reconcile it. Mysterio, you would focus on the theatricality of it all, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a stuntman.
Yeah.
That's his thing. You know, his fucking
The
failed
illusion
stunt
of
career.
the illusion of the double life as well.
Yeah. I would love for it to be Mysterio, like it's an illusion that he's done all these terrible things, and in the end, he really did. He just fucking goes fucking ham and just kills Spider-Man. And he's like, "Here's your greatest illusion." He just holds his fucking severed head in Times Square, and everyone's sobbing. And then he helps kill the X-Men. All like we've said a million times, like, you know, Mysterio, all of his best shit is not in Spider-Man comic books. You know,
it's
Daredevil and X-Men,
Yeah.
or Wolverine. You know,
Old Man Logan.
Old Man Logie.
Last thing that Mark Miller will probably ever write for mainstream Marvel.
Oh yeah, I mean he's so, I guess, you know, he's creating his own, the Millerverse. You know, he's
Miller World.
he's so you know, and you know,
Does it run on Miller time?
yes, and Dennis Miller is the president. Jesus. I was thinking of, you know, God, what a nut.
Dennis Miller or Mark Miller?
Both.
Okay.
Yes.
I was just kind of, I was thinking about that with all this. What do your favorite villains say about your heroes or how you see them? Who's your favorite? Two-Face, isn't it? For Batman?
Two-Face and Bane, yeah.
Yeah.
But Two-Face, I mean, again, some of them are so
Two-Face
fucking
is so spot
on the
on.
goddamn, thing.
Split personality.
You know, I think, Bane, but also a good thing is you tap onto that, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But then to reinvent it, you get the fuck away from that. Because with Bane, everybody just sees he's the guy that broke Batman's back, and he is the physicality of Batman. Like,
to the point where in the latest Batman story by Tom King,
Mhm.
he breaks Batman's back.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And he's also just as smart as Batman.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
forgets that.
That's the I mean, that's
Mostly because of Batman and Robin.
That's why Nightfall. Yeah, bomb, bomb. I love that. I legitimately love that moment. But,
Dumb.
it's
so
real.
dumb, but
it's so
fun.
fucking dumb. But
Well, as
but-
fun as it gets.
but the thing about Bane, like, he is, and that's why I love the Nightfall arc so much. Not necessarily because he breaks Batman's back. I mean, that issue, he just fucking rocks Batman. And as much as I love Batman, it's nice to see him get smacked in the mouth a couple times. But
Because that entire arc, he refuses any help.
oh yeah, he's like sick. You get the immortal Jason Todd line. When he's just smacking the fuck out of everybody and the Joker. But like, yeah, he is just as smart as Batman. He's had a way more. Who can you say? I mean, maybe there's a lot, but when you think of like Harvey Dent, or you think of like anybody, you don't really know Joker's background. This is kind of falling as I start to like think of it out loud. But like, Bane had a fucking traumatic life.
Yeah.
Bruce had his life, aside from his parents being murdered for him, his life on a silver platter, the silver spoon. He had everything there. He made his life worse by going out and enforcing that on him. But Bane was, the whole idea of like being born into a jail to serve your father's time because he's not there to serve it. And becoming like Batman, he becomes this the peak of everything. And I think a misconception is without the venom, he's just a skinny nobody. No, like, he's a fucking beast of a man.
It's the venom that propels him to superhuman levels.
Yeah, and that's his downfall too.
I think Bane for me kind of represents the unstoppability of Batman. Like, he's just like this like physical juggernaut, right?
Yeah.
There's like this almost like obsession because the entire time he's in Santa Prisca, he's just like, I will escape and defeat the Bat.
Yeah, he has those nightmares of the Bat. Nightmares of the Bat. And and I've always gone back to one of my favorite lines. I used to have it memorized because I'm a fucking weirdo. But when he first meets Batman in Gotham, and he's like, they all fear you, but you won't kill. What commandment was that? The first or second? Thou shalt not kill. Mm-hmm. He's like, but you won't break that commandment. Why? Why do they fear you? And Batman, and also he deduces he's Bruce Wayne in like 5 seconds.
Well, he goes to the party after Batman, Bruce has been fighting these guys for like about a week, and he's at this overlooking this gala because that's where Poison Ivy's going to strike, and he sees Bruce and he sees how weary he is, and he's like, he recognizes like his posture and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, that's the man that's already broken.
Yeah, he's like, it's you're Batman.
Yeah.
And everyone, and like, that's why I don't care about the Riddler, because the Riddler's whole thing is who's Batman, and Bane figures it out in a week because he looks at him, you know.
Yeah. Spoilers for a 13-year-old Batman story. Riddler figures out who Batman is during Hush, which is what makes that story, because it's such a awesome feint if you think about it. Where you think that there's either this new villain that's Hush, or you think it's Two-Face. There's a lot of like
they definitely play on the Two-Face, bandages and
then you see there's that one issue with Nightwing, with where Riddler's like almost like a throwaway villain, and then you find out at the end of the story it was him all along. And I always liked that if Batman is truly the world's greatest detective, then one of his greatest foes has to be a guy that just delves in mysteries or crafts his own mysteries for a living. I always his own puzzles. I always liked Riddler stories are a lot of fucking fun if they're well written. They were my favorite episodes on the animated series for the most part. Hush is great. Unfortunately, he doesn't really get a lot of play. I guess there was Zero Year. He's the big bad of 0 Year.
Mm-hmm. I like, my thing though is I also like there to be a physical threat to Batman, and the Riddler is like, it's not even fair.
He's got like the question mark cane. He's like,
and like he like falls asleep before he hits him. Riddler's fine, but he's definitely I don't know. I've never been.
Again, like Batman Trained by Ninjas. One of my favorite panels in The Killing Joke is when
Killing Joke.
It's right there in the title. Killing Joke. And when Joker pulls the cowl down over Bruce's eyes.
Yeah.
And Bruce is trying to, reorient it back so he can see again. And Joker tries to sneak up on him with a knife. And without looking, like, Batman catches him and, like, beats the shit out of him. And I was like, it's pretty, because that's how it would go down.
Well, I always thought that was one of the great little, like, if you're looking, they're always, they talk about, Kevin Smith always talks about, like, in Batman Returns when Bruce Wayne goes, you're going to jail to fucking Shrek, and he's like, that's a Batman moment. I always thought a really great, like, little comic nod is in The Dark Knight, where the Joker like throws his men at Batman because he knows he can't fucking beat Batman. He's got the Rosa Klebb boot thing, knife. Yeah, remember how fucking weird that is in From Russia with Love? Yeah. That she gets like killed by it. That's so fucking weird. But
a gun would be so much more effective.
Oh yeah, it's like X-23 with like can't she do that with her feet?
She's got the one claw per foot.
Like, who fucking cares? And then. Okay, you got one less claw, and it's in your feet. But what was it? Oh my god! Oh, and in The Dark Knight as well. At the end, he has like the dogs. Like the joke. That's like in the comic, Joker's not going to run up on Batman and be like, "I know how to fucking kick your ass."
Yeah, just like in like Batman '89, where he like punches him in the chest.
Did you see?
Like breaks his head.
Oh yeah. Oh, he spits out that. Did you see? Like, I didn't get the full context of this, but Landis was like going on this huge thing about how Batman The Dark Knight is a soft like remake of Batman '89. And I was like trying to think about it, and like people were like coming up with like, oh, it's like this. And
I think there's some stylistic moments, like when the Bat Pod,
of course,
instead of the Bat Wing, it's the Bat Pod advancing on him in Main Street.
Yeah.
That was the one where I was like, that has to be an homage to that, because obviously besides that being the Batman the Joker, but I was trying to think of it, like rack my brain. I was like, there's a couple you can make, but
there's some nods.
All respect to Max Landis, I didn't get the whole context of it, but he seemed, he was talking to a lot of people about it, like, this is what I think, this or whatever. You're pointing out the obvious, non-consistencies or whatever. But outside of a couple of homages to I think what Batman '89, I never really got that.
It's Heat with Batman and the Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more of a remake of Heat than it is Batman '89.
Al Pacino is in the background scrambling at one point. I gotta get out of Gotham. Holy fuck, look at how crowded it is.
Yeah.
Brother. Yeah. Blow up the fucking boat. They had their chance. How many times are they going to say, they had their chance?
They chose to lie and steal.
Yeah. I should have did what you should have done. 45 minutes ago.
And when he throws the fucking thing out,
yeah.
and the beard sailor man's like,
he's like, well, I'm a fucking good man.
All right, let's go back and pray.
That's where that movie, like, seeing it so many times, it's still a fucking great movie. But that whole scene is something I'm like, oh man, that's a dredge to get through that scene.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scene where I
Basically, the
walk
third act kind of is when it really starts to kind of dredge a little bit.
Basically, after the hospital blows up.
Yeah, and then everyone's like backed up, and they're stuck in traffic, and
I do like the interplay between Batman and Gordon when they first come up on the construction site.
Yeah.
And like
Takes
Gordon's
out the SWAT guys. And
yeah, Gordon's just like, it's a shooting gallery, and Batman shows up. He's like, it's always more complicated with him. That's a very
and the moment with Harvey, and
well, yeah,
that's good too.
Yeah, I never liked the idea of Batman killing Harvey.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, I get it. He served his purpose in the story.
Oh yeah. No, I'm saying, but like,
but if the entire time he's trying to avoid breaking his cardinal rule, and then he breaks his cardinal rule,
so much of Batman is paralyzed. Like film Batman, comics, they get away with it all the time. Is paralyzed, like they're stuck with this you can't break this rule thing, to the point of like potentially not telling a great story. I'm not saying The Dark Knight's not a great story, but limiting yourself because of that. And yeah, he just Goldberg spears him off of a fucking thing, and
should have jackknifed him.
Yeah, he would have.
Jericho.
Yeah, tap out you tap out quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does. I mean, he does basically just spear him off the thing, and he's dead. I mean, granted, is he holding on to Harvey, or
He's
Harvey's
holding
already
on to the
fallen?
boy.
That's right,
Yeah.
the boy. Okay, that's right. Yeah. Harvey's already fucking fallen. And he had that moment. He's like, "The good." He turns his head to show like the good side, and it's like
Basically breaks his neck and gets.
Just in case he wasn't dead already. There. Now the symbolism is complete.
I did watch the warehouse fight scene. I swear to God, like 6 times today from the Batman v Superman.
Oh yeah. The uncut version.
Yeah. Just because it's awesome. I could do without like the super CG like ridiculous shit, like when he punches the guy so hard he like turtles, scorpions himself into the floor. Like, yeah, okay. I get it. And then when he like that guy's the goofiest part of that whole scene is when he like shoots him with the fucking
Bat claw.
the bat claw, and it hits the guy in the shoulder, and then he pulls him toward him and then punches him away from him. Like that is like Zack Snyder being like, pretty cool, right? It's like
that's Zack Snyder playing like too much Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and it's like come on, chill.
No, that's where he scorpioned him.
I think the coolest like visual of that for me, besides him punching that poor bitch, like if you watch that scene again, like I'm pretty sure the guy is in a puddle of blood before Batman starts hitting him, and then he's like, "Attack, attack, attack!" And I also think he's left-handed, which is fucking dope because he throws the batarang with his left hand. So fuck you, Chris. And although I'm pretty sure he trained both hands because he's a fucking ninja. And he's but
that'd probably be the first thing Batman would do.
Yeah, he's like,
I will. Yes, Father, I will become ambidextrous.
Yeah, it's like he's writing it. It's like, yes, Father, should come a bat, and his right hand is perfect, and the left one's like this scribbled mess. But he hits the guy with anyway. When he beats the fuck out of that poor bastard, who's clearly already dead on the ground, and then when he kicks that guy in the face and the grenade goes off as he's like flying, that's such a cool shot. It's in the trailer, Yeah. And then he does like that little kapla with like both hands.
What is it?
Kapla. But if you watch that scene though, it does really well. I'll give it credit. It does really well where they don't have someone like when a superhero or the main character, the good guy, the person, whatever, is fighting a bunch of people in a room. If you watch most movies, there's always like those 3 guys who should just be taking him out, but they're like pretending to load their gun and like whatever because it wouldn't make sense.
My favorite instance of that is in Secret of the Ooze. When they're fighting in the lab,
oh yeah,
and all the foot soldiers are like on the computers, like in the background. Like
I remember, like we like went out of our way.
Characters from like Street Fighter.
Yeah, we went out of our way to watch that shit, and we were like, oh yeah. And in this one though, like they are busy the whole time. And there's that great shot of you see the guys like run out of the clips, and they immediately pull their knives out and start going, and they're striking at Batman while he can only do so much. He's hitting 2 guys, and there's like 4 guys there.
Yeah,
and they're still hitting him. And so it's like a mad dash of like maybe you don't knock every single one of them out at once, but you disorient them enough, then you can pick them off one by one. Yeah. Also, I like that he uses the gun as basically like 30 mini flashbangs to get everyone, as the bullets. That's a very Batman thing. He levels the playing ground immediately by taking out the guns and then using that gun to shock them into submission and then pick them off.
It's a crowd control maneuver.
It's and because he doesn't shoot anybody with it in that scene. But like I think that like whole scene is so cool. Like it's just a really fun scene. And
it's the closest we'll get to like the Arkham games in live action.
I mean, like I said, they basically were like, this.
Yeah.
This scene. Make it like Arkham. I could have. It's just a picky thing, but like the super like CG-y things. The
ones that are it's clearly not stuntmen.
yeah. And like I said,
that isn't a practical effect at all.
I said that's where
the Matrix Reloaded-esque like fights.
Yeah. I grandfather that in, but that's rough, man. But yeah, like I said, I always go back to like the Daredevil fight scenes where it's clearly not CG men because they're wire work and all that stuff. That's fine. There's a really cool little I saw like a little behind the scene thing about that fight, the stuntman and stuff. Obviously, there's no cape, but like he's just a beast, total beast.
I think I'm gonna get a PS4 this week, and I think I'm gonna get Arkham Knight.
Oh, dude, you're in for a treat. It's so fucking
You're
fun.
in for a show tonight.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think I'm gonna play that game again, man.
I hated that line. I got reminded of something because
wait, you hated the line? You're in for a show tonight, kid?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh no, that's like my favorite fucking thing. That's one of my favorite lines.
That's fine. I'm not.
Was it not hilarious enough, Chris?
No, it wasn't. It was just chuckle worthy.
Was that hilarious?
I did see. I just got reminded while you guys were talking. I finally saw Jason Bourne today. Actually, earlier today. It was not hilarious.
No, it's pointless.
It was. I found myself incredibly bored. Like incredibly bored. But like I've never been a huge fan of the Jason Bourne movies anyway. Like they all kind of are just too convoluted for me. Like I don't. I'm like just shave it down. Focus in on something. And but like this one, I was just like, why? Did you just want to prove that you could make another Jason Bourne movie with Matt Damon instead of?
Yeah, they probably saw the reboots. So let's do it.
Yeah, and like I was just like, okay, but, and of course, Julia Stiles died, so
Yeah, that's when I woke up.
I tapped out.
That's when I woke up, and I fought it for another.
And it was so
minutes.
long. It was like over 2 hours. I mean, barely over 2 hours, but it was over 2 hours long.
Well, we said when we watched it, like the third act was cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
The Vegas stuff is alright,
and the fight scene at the end was pretty brutal. But I
didn't need as much build up as there was. I guess there didn't need to be 5 acts, just 3 acts.
5 acts like a fucking Shakespeare play,
right?
A hit, a palpable hit. Yeah, you guys got anything else to add?
No.
I just bought Suicide Squad on Amazon.
Watch you'll probably see the extended cut before I will. So.
Probably because it's Prime, so I'll have it by like Wednesday.
Fair enough. I just got my officially started Christmas shopping this week.
Oh, yeah.
Got my father some Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass at his request.
Nice.
Yeah, he really.
I've got a couple of those albums in my mom's collection.
Cream, I assume.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that one.
Our friend Josh, not old co-host Josh, but Mayor's boyfriend Josh, said at one point that no album collection is complete without
Herb Alpert.
Yeah, because like
right.
he was making some outlandish comment that he was like every vinyl or everyone's parents' vinyl collection or something like that has Herb Alpert. So
he was huge, apparently.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is my mom doesn't remember buying them. She's like, I don't know how these got here.
They just manifested.
She's like, I think I know 1 or 2 of his songs.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah, but she was like, I don't recall buying them. When we bought a cabinet player when we moved into this house, it came with a whole bunch of albums. So she was like, maybe it was part of that.
For you listeners at home that aren't aware, if you think like 60s like game show horns, it's Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, probably. Yeah, it's It's a staple.
Mm.
It's Americana. That's what it is. But yeah, you guys got anything else?
No.
Nothing? All right. Well, this has been another installment of Catching Up. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
Fried chicken.
Thank you very much.
Good night, Eric Bana.
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a new commentary every Monday. We've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.